The Denver Broncos fall hard in NFL.com's Week 2 power rankings. Let's see where they rank. Hello everyone and welcome to Denver Broncos Syndicate, part of the Sports Syndicate family of channels where we are dedicated to bringing you content about our favorite sports teams. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Following their ugly Week 1 loss to the Seattle Seahawks, the Denver Broncos have taken quite a bit of a nosedive in NFL.com's power rankings. In his initial rankings, Dan Hanzus of NFL.com named the Denver Broncos as the 8th best team in the NFL entering Week 1. Before we find out how many spots the Broncos dropped after losing to the Seahawks, just be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. We're trying to reach 850 subscribers, so each subscription would help us out a ton. In his Week 2 power rankings, Hanzus has the Broncos dropping a whopping 8 spots, all the way down to the 16th team in the NFL. Nathaniel Hackett worked his whole career to get to Monday night. Unfortunately, it won't be a night he'll recall fondly. The new Broncos coach watched his team lose 2 fumbles at the enemy 1-yard line, and then found himself at the center of criticism for poor clock management in the final seconds of an ugly 17-16 loss to the Seahawks. Russell Wilson threw for 340 yards and a touchdown in his Denver debut, but he also bore some responsibility for a sloppy effort that included too many penalties and not enough execution at the most critical moments of the game. Denver was a heavily hyped team following the blockbuster trade that brought Wilson to town. Monday night felt like a hangover after a summer-long party. Alright, I think hangover after a summer-long party is a little bit excessive. Although there is a lot of stuff to clean up, when you actually peel back the layers and look at the tape, there is plenty of things that the Broncos did well on Monday night. I think we all universally agree that Hackett has a lot to improve on going into the rest of the season. Everyone's in agreement that he fumbled the last 2 minutes of the game in the way that he managed the clock and the way that the team was playing for a 60-plus yard field goal. A 12-year-old playing Madden would have better clock management in that situation. We also can all agree that Hackett should have put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands on 4th and 5. Hackett should have called the timeout and put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands to at bare minimum give us a chance at a shorter field goal. That was a horrible series of mistakes by Hackett that I hope he never makes again. One thing that was nice was that Hackett did take accountability for it and admitted later that he should have gone for it on 4th down. That's something that we would not have seen from Vic Fangio. As far as Russell Wilson is concerned, although he was not perfect, I do feel that Hanzus' assessment of his performance was a little bit stretched. Personally, I do not feel that the delay of game penalties and near delay of game penalties were Russ's fault. Those fall on Hackett for not getting the play into Russ's helmet sooner. Although the crowd noise certainly didn't help, Hackett wasn't relaying the play into Russ's helmet until there was less than 20 seconds left on the play clock. By that point, you've got a lot of stuff you have to do. Russ has to relay the play to the huddle, and in a loud environment like Seattle, you know that he's probably going to have to repeat the play a couple of times. Then, once you break the huddle and get up to the line of scrimmage, you have to go through your protection checks, you have to identify the Mike linebacker, you have to make your adjustments based on what the defense is doing. Then Russ has to go through his cadence, and the team actually has to get the ball snapped. That's a lot to get done when you're not breaking the huddle until there's 10 seconds left on the play clock. Although some would say that you can blame Russ for not being more aware of the play clock, there's not really much you can do when you're still trying to get your guys on the same page because the play call came in late. In my opinion, that all falls on Hackett, and that's something that's going to need to be cleaned up in terms of an offensive, operational perspective. Overall, the numbers and the tape would say that Russ played pretty well. He threw for over 340 yards. Although he did miss some throws and was inaccurate on a couple of passes, overall he was putting the ball in the right spot and made a couple of explosive plays, including the 67-yard touchdown to Judy. It's pretty hard for Hanzus to say there was not enough execution from Wilson when he literally was not given a chance at the end of the game to give the team an opportunity to win the game. Wilson did what he had to do at the end of the game, in my opinion. He just wasn't given the opportunities that he needed to be given. And that's why he left Seattle, was to be given those opportunities to win games like that. He's done it before. I don't understand why the team was so skittish to do it now. This is definitely an ugly loss, but it is one where you've got to look at the tape, see what you did wrong, correct it, and then flush it and move on to next week. In some ways, it's a good thing that the Broncos are on a short week, because they have already done that and are already preparing for their home opener on Sunday afternoon against the Houston Texans. I will be at that game, bringing you guys live coverage on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL, as well as a post-game analysis video right here on Denver Broncos Syndicate from Empower Field at Mile High. I'm curious, Broncos country, what's your long-term outlook on the team now that you've had a couple of days to sleep on the Seahawk loss? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And while you're at it, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for even more Broncos coverage. And for now, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out and let's ride.